first of all start off by saying thank you, and I want to thank you for sharing your stories last night. And also I've been thinking about what a beautiful community this is, and what great potential, great potential I see. So, yeah, thank you. Very inspiring and encouraging. My wife Maria, this is the first time she's accompanied me to something like this. And on the way home, she was saying, "Is it always like this? People always have talkative?" And I'm like, "No." You gotta extract things from them. But yeah, she was very impressed and inspired and encouraged. So, and then of course it's a small Greek world, and she knows Tula knows her mom. It's just it's right. So let me open with a passage from St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians, chapter 4. And he, Christ, gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, and some shepherds and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, to the work of ministry, to the building up of the body of Christ, until we all come, not some, until we all come to the unity of the faith and of the full knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure and the stature of the fullness of Christ. And then later, but speaking the truth in love, we may grow up into him in all things, who is the head, the Christ, from whom all the body, being joined and knit together by what every juncture supplies, very important, according to the energy of every single part in measure, makes for itself the increase of the body, to the building up of itself in love. Are you ready to do some work today? When I first spoke with Chris, when he called me, I asked him what he was sort of hoping for or looking for. And he said, we'd like to see more people involved. We want more people to step up and take on a leadership role. He said also, we want more people involved in decision making. And then we want to organize our ministries. So hopefully today we'll address all of these things and more. This second session is going to be about vision and mission setting. It's the leaders of the parish that set the vision and mission of the community. It's leaders that provide the parish with its direction and its identity. And the tool that is used to set the vision is something called a vision statement. Now, a vision statement is kind of internally focused. A vision statement expresses your core values, which we talked about last night, and inspires the people in your community. So a vision statement expresses your core values and inspires your people. Vision statements are aspirational. They provide us an opportunity to put our dreams on paper. Thus, developing a vision statement, through developing a vision statement, you capture the hearts and the imaginations of the community to go beyond what it currently is and has already accomplished. A vision statement is intended to guide your internal decision making. A vision statement provides strategic direction and describes what you want to achieve in the future. A vision statement must be concise and clear, easy to remember, future-oriented, challenging yet achievable. And a vision statement must be inspiring. I'll share the vision statement of that's in the book from St. Spiridon Parish in Colorado. An Orthodox Christian community where people find transformation in Jesus Christ. Is that concise and clear? Easy to remember? Future-oriented? Challenging yet achievable? Inspiring? Yeah, I think it meets all those things. I think it meets all those things. Now, I went onto your website and before I came, and I looked at what was written, and I think you have the making or the beginning of a vision statement. When I read a spiritual home for you and your family. So, remember, vision statements are aspirational. They're not like what we are right now, but what we hope to be in the future. So, let's create a vision statement for 3 Hierarchs. What expresses all these values? It's clear and concise, easy to remember, future-oriented, challenging and achievable, and inspiring. Any ideas?
The hard part about those words, which are all great, is what you were asking us questions of what we are now and what we were or have been.
Right.
So none of these really are looking forward as much. I mean, they're not as aspirational, but these were all statements of what we are. That's my recollection of last night.
There's 2 words that I think are a start. I think welcoming and a home.
Okay.
Are 2 things that I think people are looking for and we want to be.
Yeah, take a look at this list and let's narrow it down to maybe 3 to 5. We already have 2.
Love.
Love.
Tradition.
Second column.
Right.
Devotion to worship.
Right.
Got written up there, but I do think that we talked about when Father Michael McNeil asked if we've been experienced any form of transformation. I do think that has to be in there, and there has to be a transformational element. I've written something.
How would we put that in the form of a value?
Transformational.
I mean, you could use it in terms of healing or transformational, or I mean, there's all the synonyms that we use in the church for that process. Definitely, the healing of the soul is
that's really important in light of coming out of COVID and people are very lonely and
Community. Okay. Healing, transformational, community, love, tradition, home, devotion to worship, welcome. How do we turn that into a vision statement? We hope to be in the future a welcoming,
Home for worship,
I'm sorry,
home for worship, welcoming home, welcoming community.
And home for worship.
welcoming community, and spiritual home.
The spiritual home of doing the traditional applications of Orthodox faith.
That really rolls off the tongue.
I think Christian would be better than spiritual, because it seems that's too amorphous. I think making sure that we express that we're Christian in some way is important. That's what we are.
but it's, yeah.
Well, you're three hierarchs Orthodox church, correct?
Does it say Orthodox Christian?
Orthodox
We
Christian.
say Christian. Christian.
Orthodox Christian Church is how it's online.
Okay.
Father Michael, should we read the previous one? A little background.
We can, that's a mission statement.
Yeah, we developed, this is,
Well, sometimes missions and vision statements are kind of interchangeable. So what do you have?
this is a longer, like, purpose, mission kind of statement that we developed 2015, 16. We were kind of going down this path somewhat in the parish council and developed this to establish and promote a strong and dynamic Orthodox Christian presence in the Wenatchee Valley as a witness to the fullness and transforming power of the Orthodox way of life, to be a spiritual hospital and a light for the healing and salvation of souls. I think it was important to share that as where we have kind of come from, the
Can we
mindset that
can we
have.
put that on paper so I can see it? Can you transcribe it to Chris maybe on a post-it note?
I like the vision statement that you read from St. Spiridon.
We'll pay royalties, is that okay?
We'll pay a little bit to Father Evans.
He really wouldn't mind.
Father Jerry?
Yeah.
You have your phone.
I was a Protestant pastor before becoming Orthodox, and
Yeah.
when I knew I could not go down that path anymore, my wife and I sat down and we Googled what is the goal of the options that I've left. And then I Googled Anglican, and I literally said what I got, so that's not helping. Like, what is the product? Like, we produce saints. And somewhere in there, I sort of feel like that.
So to bring people into communion with God.
Right. I mean, whatever we word it, but there's something where we can actually say, like, we've done that. I mean, it's aspirational, right?
Right.
But this is what we can do for you. You know? If you want to be a saint, if you want to grow in union with God, we can do that. I can't do other things for you, but that's what we do.
Hold on to that, Father Michael. Thank you for that.
bringing people into communion with God through the Orthodox Christian faith.
Are you a songwriter?
But I think we want something about welcoming a family, or something about that hospitality that is really important. Like, you listening.
I think for Wenatchee specifically, we need to remove that misunderstanding that it's not for me. It's Orthodox, right? It's Greek, or it's this or it's that. But I'm just a Christian kind of thing. I think that's a little bit of the mindset in the valley. And if there's something that we can say within this statement that addresses that not like, most of the Protestant churches are, we welcome everybody, but something that's a little bit more than what that, I don't know what the wording is, but.
How did you say it, Bruno? How did you just say it?
Well, I could add something like a welcoming community, bringing people into union with God through the Orthodox faith. All people.
All people seeking God or something like that.
So if you have, Melissa?
I use those words and wrote something. Should I read it?
Sure.
We welcome devotion and worship in our Lord Jesus Christ. We welcome all the community to join us for healing and transformation through the love of each other, our neighbors, and God.
That does capture all those.
I would just say as feedback from other people that have come from other churches that have come here, just personal people I know, there's a lot of preconception of what they think it is, and then when you get here, it's completely different. So I think anything we can do to dispel that, or, well, I think it's like once you come here and experience it, maybe it's not for you, but I think you'll get an understanding of what's going on here. A lot of people think it's pretty great. So I think goes to Andy's point about the conception of Orthodoxy in the Valley that we definitely want to disarm off of people. And that's actually probably a big reason why we do like our kind of Mediterranean Greek food festival. It's really just to show that we're just all normal people dealing with their own salvation too. And it's been pretty effective that way. So that is something that I think is important to convey.
But might that not then convince people that you have to be Greek or Mediterranean to be part of the church?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I've been in a couple different churches, in the Greek church and the Serbian church.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that kind of gets me coming into some of these communities is that the persona or the thought of these churches is you have to be Greek to be there, or it's the Serbian church, or it's the rich people's church, or there's all these kind of pieces that kind of remove the Orthodox church in that community from the community. And there's not as much outreach from that church into those communities, which kind of gets a vibe sometimes from the church and our Orthodoxy to our community.
I'm sorry, who's?
So I just had a question because
Yeah.
it seems to me like if we're talking here, there's two things happening. One is what we want to say to others, and one is what we need to say about ourselves.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of trying to figure out what we're trying to establish here, because it seems like
So
what
the
we want to do is what we say about ourselves to ourselves,
Right.
and then we carry that out into the world and say it to other people.
Right, so the vision statement is aspirational, what we aspire to become. Where the mission statement, it supports the vision statement, but it tells the story to others. It's externally focused, right? And it tells how you're going to actually, how you intend to go about accomplishing your vision. So like this part here, right? The way we're going to, whatever your vision is to establish and promote a strong and dynamic Orthodox Christian presence in the Lamb Valley. That's the makings of the vision statement right there. I mean, the mission statement, right?
How about living and witnessing to the apostolic Christian faith?
Are we trying to work both on a vision statement and mission statement simultaneously?
Well, one at a time, but yeah.
Okay.
Both.
So hopefully, it might take me a moment to sort of flesh this out. I think the first half of my Christian life was in a evangelical church, which over 10,000 people on a Sunday morning. And the goal there was to be so accessible that anybody could come in and hear the message. That was the goal, right? And if you would have told me anything about an apostolic faith, I would have had no clue what that was, and I wouldn't have even cared. But I'm not saying that's better or worse. I'm just saying that's what it is. The second thing is I think that for me, the thing that drew me to Orthodoxy was the authenticity and the tradition, because that transforming me and encouraging an Orthodox Christian from a work. They say, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I got a church service, and we're going to be standing for about 4.5 hours in the middle of the night, and I'm fasting for a couple months, and I'm just exhausted. So I might need to take Monday off, and I'm going to be pooped." That's not a good vision statement to get people to come in. But the other thing is,
Okay, hold on to that, right? Yeah. During his time there, he was invited to the vigil service. Now, he was expecting to feel like you might feel minutes or 20 hours. A Lutheran pastor felt the same way. Time became, so what I would tell people is, yeah, it was a 4.5 hour service, but it felt like 5 minutes. Because time doesn't matter in there. We're not chronos time at church, we're kairos time. So you can kind of reshape that, reform that, and still be tired. But
I did start out with, I told you that was a horrible example. But I get what you're saying, because I do follow it up with that. I said, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But what I think there's this, but then when I invite them, and many of my employees and workers and people I've known from my work life outside, because I only have 2 lives, well, family life, of course, but I have my church life and then my work life. I don't have hobbies. I don't have, a bowling group or a poker group. That's all I have. So the people I don't know outside of this are work, okay? So they come to Kebab Fest and they're like, these people are fun. They were having this impression that we have these long services and then we have these aesthetic elements, these, for me, spiritual and holy elements, but for them, they are pictures, right? They're like, they're trying to do that. I said, this is the mystery, this is the beauty. But I think it's really hard to articulate that for someone that doesn't live this every single service and every single day that we come, because I'm enriched and I feel better. And when I skip, I feel positive. When I skip Vespers on Saturday night, I'm not ready for Sunday morning. But when I'm here, I sleep better on Saturday night. I feel better for Sunday morning. I'm ready to go. And it's hard to explain that to somebody that it goes to an evangelical church and it's a rock concert on Saturday night, and right after that they stop by a bar and go drinking, and then that's to them that's church. And so I don't know if our market is the evangelicals, and if that's what we're trying to do, or we just want to be who we are and hope that we attract people. What I'm trying to understand from a mission statement is that's what we're trying to do, is evangelize and get people to come so we can grow and they can see orthodoxy, or if it's that we just want to be true to ourselves and hopefully we attract some people in the process. So you can throw rotten fruit at outside of church.
It sounds like you're saying that you're trying to convey to others that orthodoxy is a way of life, not something you do on Sundays.
But that's what I tell the people I work with. I have icons in my office, all that stuff, and I'm just not a good marketing symbol for them, because they love the freedom of being able to do whatever they feel like.
Right.
That fasting and the church services are so alien, it's too restricting to them, because they say it sort of just ruled my whole life.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to talk about the freedom, because I feel freer in that, but it's, like I said, I'm a horrible marketing tool for orthodoxy.
I wouldn't say that. Yes.
I just want to bring the words of Elder Raphael Neukatz, a spiritual son of Saint Sophrony of Ephesus. And he stated very simple and said that the orthodoxy is the only reality of the human being. And the human being, the true nature of human being is to be orthodox. That's you can be any kind, but that's what we try to return to the true nature of human being.
Yeah.
And then it is something that it's, and he also said something, I don't know if this is something that we can talk, it's asked us to get to the church. It's not difficult, it's impossible. What it is impossible to a human being, God is bringing up in a man. And then here is the mysteries of the church and the strength that is feeding into this transformation into and growth into eternity and returning to the true nature of human being, which we fall from.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can say we are on a journey together towards returning to the true nature of all human being, which is orthodoxy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Scott. Then, yes.
I've heard fathers say this many times about this is the true faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if that's what he was trying to bring out in us as humans, searching for that in our life, the truth, and not things that the world feeds us. In the evangelical world, I felt when I was there, I also was in an evangelical church at one point, and it was the person up there at the pulpit was feeding us what they believe, not true faith. Does that make sense?
It does.
We start the mission statement with what Christ says, I am the way, the truth, the life. And then put our mission statement underneath that. Is that what you're thinking, Robert?
So, in the in the passage that I read, because in Roseburg, our kind of mission is to attain to the measure, the stature, the fullness of Christ. In the Orthodox tradition, through worship, service, witness, fellowship, discipleship. That's kind of our vision too, to attain the measure, the stature, the fullness of Christ through these things. Someone else had it.
How, I guess for a vision statement, it seems to me, and I may be totally off base in this, but it seems to me that a vision statement needs to be something that sets us apart from, Wenatchee is full of churches. And you're going to find a lot of these terms used in their statements. It seems to me that a vision statement, we need something that sets us apart from the rest of the Christian community.
Maybe that's uniquely Orthodox.
Yes. Yeah, and
remember, it's to inspire all of you. It's to inspire you.
And to inspire a person that's reading it too to come. Because
Is that the mission statement? Are we confusing the two
and
again?
they want to see what's in that statement that's going to bring them in. They want to be able to understand what's in the statement.
Yeah.
That's the mission.
What we mean by
Yes.
what we mean by our vision.
Yes.
So what do you aspire to be as a parish? A home for people, worshiping community, Eucharistic community, welcoming community, traditional community, transformational community, loving community.
A spiritual home for those seeking the fullness of the Christian faith, or the fullness of union with Christ, union with God.
Go back to the spiritual home.
Union with the Holy Trinity. A spiritual home for those seeking the fullness of unity with union with the Holy Trinity.
The fullness, I write stuff. The fullness
of those seeking the fullness of union with the Holy Trinity. I would imagine that most of the Protestant churches are just sort of speaking about.
We're getting Protestants here coming, we're getting unchurched people.
Yeah,
I don't think we have to, I don't think we need to be focused on what Protestants.
Well, that's not really, that wasn't in response to Protestants, but just the part about the Holy Trinity, I think is sometimes unique to Orthodoxy. It's true, and you see it and you hear it in all of our prayers. I mean, we don't just some churches are just all about Father, we just thank you. And the other ones are Jesus churches, and then you have the Holy Spirit churches. But we're the Holy Trinity Church.
Chris, do we have Post-it notes? Because, if we put these terms on the Post-it notes and move them around a little bit and pull them out, ones that don't work, we could put a sentence together? Or
I think the chanters stand maybe.
Let me also share, this is a mission statement from the hospital I used to work in Spokane. Our mission is to continue the healing ministry of Christ in the Catholic tradition. That tells everybody what their vision is, right? To be about healing, right? And so they're telling everybody our mission is to continue that healing ministry of Christ in the Catholic tradition.
Can I ask a question? Is the word transformation or being transformed important, to our community in this vision statement?
It sounded like Father Michael, when Father Michael asked people to raise their hands last night, that it is very important.
that.
Are you working on something?
Oh, I was trying to, but.
Father, can I read? I have one from someone's watching, my wife's at home. Can I read what she wrote? She sent it to me.
Yeah.
She said, welcoming the community to experience the traditions of the Orthodox Church while being an active witness to the fruits of our faith. That's what she says, a vision statement. And then what I wrote was...
It sounds more like a mission statement.
Yeah. And then what I wrote was, our vision is to create a healing and transformational community reflecting the traditional worship of the Orthodox Christian faith.
Traditional way of life. I would say way of life.
I think it's kind of, and again, this is me coming from a Roman Catholic background. I think it's important that we emphasize. I like that you use Catholic because that's a moniker that we as Orthodox Christians in this society tend to avoid. But that's what we are. We are the one holy Catholic and apostolic faith. And I think I like how Father, you used apostolic earlier, and I like the statement you just came up with, but I think if we added apostolic in there, because this is the apostolic faith, and it does differentiate us. It's a bold statement when we say we're the one holy Catholic and apostolic church.
Uniting all people.
Is this mission or vision?
Well, I was going for vision, but
so vision would be being united. Or we aspire to be united. You know what I'm saying? Can you repeat yours? Vision?
Was it the first or the second one?
Second one.
Our vision is to create a healing and transformational community reflecting the traditional worship of the Orthodox Christian faith.
Our vision is to create
a healing and transformational community reflecting the traditional worship of the Orthodox Christian faith.
Reflecting
the traditional worship of the Orthodox.
We can just say the tradition, would that be okay?
Sure.
Our vision is to create a healing, transformational community reflecting the tradition.
I said tradition. I said traditional worship. Of the Orthodox Christian faith.
I don't think we should limit it to worship.
Yeah. Our vision is to create a healing, transformational community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith.
Yeah.
That reflects the fullness of the
traditional way of life of the Orthodox faith. To try and encompass the whole thing.
Do we need both healing and transformational, or can we just use one?
Healing's better.
Okay.
Far better.
And this way, Father, everyone won't get mad at us for using transformational.
I think healing is important because I think everybody is coming with some sort of trauma or some baggage. So for me, that seems really appealing.
I think it's defining of our soteriology as well, because it's not the same as the penal substitutionary kind of vision of the world around us.
Salvation is healing in Orthodox too. Not. Our vision is to create a healing community that reflects the traditional way of life of the Orthodox Christian faith. Our vision is to create a healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith.
I like that
I mean,
one too.
as our understanding of ourselves, that seems reasonable.
I'm sorry?
As a vision statement, our understanding of ourselves, that sounds about right to me.
Which one? The second one? Our vision is to create a healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith.
Yeah.
Father, this can be like kind of working at this point, like.
Absolutely, it's working, it's absolutely working.
We can massage it and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
distill it down to something.
So can we put it up here?
What's the healing community? What does that mean?
I would say,
Spiritual healing, it's not
our vision is to create. Yes, this is a working vision statement. When we do strategic planning and goals, you can base it on this. Maybe that process will help kind of refine. Is to create a healing community, maybe a place of healing. I don't know. Anyway, it's working. Create a healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith. So, would a mission statement then be, our mission is to establish and promote a strong and dynamic Orthodox Christian presence in the Wenatchee Valley.
That's the thing that people are seeing, right? With the mission statement.
Yeah.
Well, like, they're seeing that tells them nothing about Orthodox or about the Christian faith. It's just like, oh, we want to, I don't know.
Yeah, just the first sentence seems inadequate.
Yeah.
Mission statement though is what you're gonna do, not, it's not explain you are. Right, so.
How about this? Our mission is to establish and promote a strong and dynamic Orthodox Christian presence in Wenatchee Valley by witnessing the fullness and transforming power of the Orthodox way of life.
It's a little bit redundant with Orthodox Christian presence and Orthodox way of life.
All right.
I don't know, is it? Because one is saying that we're here and the other is talking about how we demonstrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, what does it mean to someone to hear that we're trying to promote an Orthodox way of life? Like,
I actually like the promoting of the Orthodox way of life more than the strong and dynamic presence.
right.
Yeah, I mean, language myself. I mean, yeah, we want to be seen and heard. I mean, that just doesn't, I mean, we have enough of that
What
kind
if
of thing going on in the world right now.
What if we started with our mission is to witness to the fullness, or just to witness to the transforming power of the Orthodox way of life through repentance.
I think to what you're saying and what you're saying, I think there's a side tangent that we need to go down is what is the Orthodox way of life, how we'd explain it to people outside of the church. I think that's an important, to get that right, then I think that gives that more power. Because that's a really important, I think about now all the worship we've done in catechism, but to distill that to what is the Orthodox way of life in a very concise statement.
Would it be fair to say that it is the healing of the soul and the union with Christ?
I like that.
But then you'd say via, then we have to unpack what that means to people that aren't here. Because you're right, if we're going to make it welcoming, we need to distill that with not too much words of what that means, so their expectations of at least what's possible is they're coming in with kind of an open heart and know, okay, this is generally what that means, and then we show them what that actually means,
How about
Our
this?
mission is.
How about this? One second. Our mission is to be the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like that.
I like that.
Isn't a mission statement, isn't that more internally focused?
No, it's externally.
Externally, okay.
It tells the story and communicates to your community and those outside how you intend to go about accomplishing your vision.
Okay, I got it back.
Okay.
Our mission, I'm just kind of changing some of the initial wording. Our mission is to bring all people into
union with Christ.
Into union with Christ by the transforming power of the Orthodox way of life.
The healing of the soul by the power of the Orthodox.
Too much. Our mission is to
welcome all people.
Bring all people.
Oh, no, let's say welcome.
Welcome, yeah.
Try to bring better.
I like bring.
I would assume people thought you'd be welcoming already, like you're already in church. So.
Yeah, you're not going to bring people into union with Christ. You're not welcome. So.
Okay.
Our mission is to bring all people into relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
Into union.
Father Jerry.
With God? Or with the Holy Trinity? With the Holy Trinity?
Well,
you said
I would go with Christ because the church is the body of Christ. I mean, yeah, we worship the tripartite God, but like the church is the body of Christ. And so I think it's appropriate to say in union with Christ.
Our mission is to bring all people into union with Christ
by the transforming power or tradition of the Orthodox way of life, or by the
healing of the soul through the.
Do you think it's more important that we have an active or a passive voice in these statements? Because we're kind of both of, that's why I see the difference in the tone. Is active is like bring. Passive would be more like welcome. Like it, and what, but the question is for the type of people that come through our door, we really don't think it's a lot of conversion of Protestants, but it's people that are non-religious. I think that matters of that person to understand what they're looking for and how we approach them. I think that I don't want to turn people off because I know once they come here and see the fruits of the tree here, then they're going to go like, okay, maybe it's not for me, but it's not that. And I want them to leave with that, but some people might, they have so much conditioning and other things that if it's too active, it might also feel like it's not as welcoming. So what's that balance?
Right.
That's the so that's what I was asking. What do you think is more important, an active or passive tone?
I think for our mission statement, it's got to be active.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree.
Our mission is to bring all people into union with Christ by sharing the Orthodox Christian faith, or the Orthodox Christian way of life, or the fullness.
Is that how we bring them in? Bring them into union with Christ by the healing of their soul. That is what we're doing.
But it's by the transformative
Power, I mean, by the healing of the soul, through the transformative power of the Orthodox way of life, or something like that, makes sense.
Our mission is to bring all people into union with Christ by healing their soul. I mean, that's what you're saying.
It's good to have vision and mission, the healing, you know.
Right. That's right.
Can I just say, using the word transformative, just to be honest, if I had, and I came from a Catholic background and was on about a 15-year anti-church stint when I came to Orthodoxy and I came to the Greek Festival in Tacoma. If I was reading a mission statement and they're talking about transformative or transforming, I would have checked the box and said no. Because that's not, I don't want to be transformed, I want to heal. And I think also for me, coming from that piece, was that transformative transformation and some of that language presents very Western, you know, those non-denominational, that, and, you know, the other kind of looser ones that, you know, let me go get my oyster cracker and grape juice as I go up to communion, or what they call communion. So I would just say, just from my piece, you know, if we do more on the healing and what is more Orthodox than those other pieces, because we don't want to scare people away. You know, I would have, like I said, been a hard no for Orthodox back then. Let's transform you. If that been kind of the messaging across. But that's just personal stuff.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I do as well. I think
I
healing,
agree.
because healing encompasses transformation. Transformation does not necessarily encompass healing.
I think what it's like this.
Previous state of being, well-being, you know, as opposed to transforming to who knows what progressive.
Yeah, that's it. There's words that have been kind of almost like hijacked. It doesn't have enough context. Like, is progress good? Is change good or bad? There's not enough there to actually evaluate if that's actually a positive or a negative in itself. So it's the word itself is very burdened.
Transformative.
Yeah, especially with in Western thought of how it's been used for other ends. From all sides.
So I think we're really close here on the mission statement. Our mission is to bring all people into union with Christ by sharing the Orthodox faith, witnessing the Orthodox Christian faith, introducing people to the Orthodox Christian faith.
So I finished that with.
By being the one holy Catholic Apostolic.
I finished that with by the healing traditions of the Orthodox way of life.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
What about putting something in there about the healing of the great physician? That's a lot of, it's very Orthodox. That's to me.
I like that because it's outwardly focused. Could you repeat yours?
Yes. To bring all people into union with Christ by the healing tradition of the Orthodox way of life. Maybe healing and tradition shouldn't be together.
Why?
That's
I
kind
mean,
of less
we would say
separation from the
that medicine
problem.
has a tradition of healing. We would say that, you know, Chris's work in counseling has a tradition of healing. Why would we deny our tradition of healing?
Or the healing something of the traditional Orthodox way of life.
With the healing power.
Maybe spiritual healing of your.
Sometimes it can get too wordy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of nice to be short and sweet.
Yeah. So Chris, go to our mission is to bring all people into union with Christ, because I think most of you are in agreement with that part, right? So how do we accomplish that? how do we accomplish bringing all people into union with Christ? Isn't it by witnessing the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith? Isn't it by being the one Holy Catholic and Apostolic Church?
But if this is
A
how
healing
we're
is-
facing, what does that mean to other people?
Yeah.
What does
My
what-
problem
what
with
does
if
what
the
mean?
mission statement is outward facing, what does that mean to other people? And that's why it feels to me like, yeah, I know what we mean by saying the fullness of the Orthodox faith and all this, but not half of my coworkers wouldn't. But if I say the healing of your soul, they're going to understand what that means.
Or authentically Christian.
Well,
Yeah, I was thinking too.
when I talk to people that are not Orthodox, and they ask me what's different, I often say, because of the traditions that are ancient, that go back to the beginning.
By witnessing the ancient
Tradition.
Say ancient, but
apostolic.
the
Ancient
traditions
healing way of life.
of the Orthodox way of
The
life.
ancient healing way of life.
I don't think necessarily we need to have healing in both, because
Father, could you read your list of what a mission statement should be? Again, I think that'll.
a mission statement of a parish supports the vision. It tells the story, it communicates to your community and those outside how you intend to go about accomplishing your vision. So how do we go about creating that healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith?
By living Orthodox way of life.
Oh, our mission is to bring all people into union with Christ by living the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith. We're just living our faith.
But yeah.
Living the Orthodox Christian way of life.
By living the Orthodox way of life. How's that sound to me? He's leaving. Huh? What did he say?
He said good.
Good. Our mission to bring all people in union with Christ by living
That's our business statement.
an Orthodox Christian way of life. Our mission is to bring all people in union with Christ by living an Orthodox Christian way of life.
Is that
Are we going to bring them because we're living the Orthodox way of life?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, okay, but we want to bring them into union with Christ
by being living examples.
By them living the Orthodox way of life, though, too, right?
No, but we'll bring them, what will attract them
is what we do.
Is by living that, right?
This is external.
Not words, but holy
for other
lives.
people.
Holy lives.
Do we say by witnessing to?
By witnessing to the Orthodox Christian way of life.
Is it a better word to use instead of always to bring all people, to embrace all people to the union with Christ? I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a better word. Bringing is like we're kind of superior. We're kind of when a superior stand, and we are trying to take them up.
So if you have a really good friend, and you're really close to that friend, don't you want to bring other of your friends to meet this friend? I mean, we're in a relationship with Christ, right? I want to share that relationship with Christ with everybody. I want everybody to be an Orthodox Christian. So I want to bring them into that relationship. The way that I bring them into that relationship is by living a holy life. St. Francis says, preach the gospel only if you need to use words, right? This idea that not more words, but more holy lives, right? That's what's going to bring people into union with Christ. If we live or witness.
Is it possible that we have our current vision statement and mission reversed?
It could be.
I was thinking the same thing, too.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. Could be.
Would be like this.
Sarah.
I guess just one thing that so that bring all people. It just there's a church I walk by every day and I pray for them, and there's a lot of churches that I've noticed that are Protestant and they have the rainbow flag and under every one of their signs it says all people are welcome. Mm-hmm. What if we got rid of the all?
We don't want you.
That might be silly, but I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of when we started talking about it. But I don't know. What do other people do?
I think everyone. I think everyone's a better statement because a better word to use because we do want to remove this misunderstanding that it's just for certain people, ethnicities, or
I think the challenge I have with that is that it seems controlling, like you're trying to control other people. And
You have a problem with the word bring?
no, like all people and everyone. Like,
Yeah. I think
Each person, maybe.
I think bring people is fine. I mean, it's kind of open to interpretation.
I mean,
If you're a person, then we're trying to bring you. I mean,
In Jesus' writings, did he even expect all people to come to the Orthodox
I was
Church?
going to say, what about the Great Commission? Why didn't they just say, all the world, you bring people into union with Christ?
Bring all the world into you.
What about, can we, what does it look like if we change bring into heal? Our mission is to heal all people by bringing them into union with Christ.
I think an outsider would read that and say,
That's weird.
that's a little bit
bold.
Sorry.
I would say,
They might say they're not sick.
well, no, I just think that's quite the claim. That's quite the claim. I mean, we know it to be true. We know it to be true that there's healing. That is our soteriology. We know that. But an outsider, I think would say that's kind of presumptuous, maybe pompous, maybe it's just, I don't know. What do you all think?
How about welcome all people?
Yes. How would framing this change if we said that our vision was our mission, and then look back at doing a vision statement? Because I think that what we have there is a vision actually talks quite a bit about what the mission would be, and would be something that I would think would be good on a header on a web page or anything else that's outward looking. So if we took that and used it to come up with, we called that the mission, and then use that to come up with what we would say our vision is.
Or do we need both?
I don't know.
Or would that just suffice?
Is the mission like we are a instead of, you know what I'm saying, like this is who we are, this is our mission? No.
Our mission is how we come to our vision. Our vision is
Maybe our mission should be short and sweet, just really straightforward. Right? Here's our vision.
Our mission is to bring people into union with Christ.
So the word create is sort of aspirational, is the future.
Yeah, I mean,
So it would be more, our vision is to provide a healing community and reflects fullness. So that's what we are now, not aspirational. That's what a mission statement is. That's what the marketing slogan for people that come to our church, right? That we don't want to say that we are is to create, because that means that we're not necessarily there yet. It's being created, but we all know that that's what's happening there. We're
So what would the mission statement be?
It just changed the create to provide. Our mission is to provide a healing community that reflects the wholeness of the Orthodox.
Yeah, change that.
Or offer, provide.
Provide, not create.
So that our mission is to say.
Provide, I think, yeah,
like that.
If we're back on this one, I've got some thoughts on that.
Okay.
Because healing community, like Father Michael mentioned, is, I don't know if it's weird for everybody or just me. Maybe to say that same thing. Maybe it's a welcoming community for healing through the fullness.
I like adding welcoming.
A community for healing, like a healing community, maybe, I don't know, that's like a spa, you know. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but that's defined in the second part, to the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith. I mean, that's.
And then if you throw in spiritual healing, then that's going to really freak people out. Yeah, Wenatchee.
Christmas.
Yeah.
How about our vision is to be a healing community?
Our mission? Did you say our vision?
Vision or mission, yeah. I guess mission is what we've put in place. Our mission is to be a healing community that reflects the Orthodox Christian faith.
Yeah.
Well, once again, that's like aspiration. To be is a future state.
Yeah. So that'd be
Which is the vision.
Yeah.
Our vision is to, okay, it's to be our vision. Right? Vision?
Yeah.
Cross out that. It's to be. Try to repeat that. A healing community. That's it?
Our vision is to be a healing community. Does the second half need
About welcoming there instead of giving.
a healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith? I mean, I still kind of like, the apostolic, but that's purely a personal preference.
I think apostolic is perfect for internal because it goes out. I mean, we all think that's great, but someone that's walking down the street is not going to really know what that is.
Yeah. Every time you put these complex terms in, you have to then define them, or people are not going to know what it means. A lot of people don't even know apostolic even means.
Well, I would argue most people don't know what Orthodox means.
Yes.
It's a name.
I would say, if we start using some of these terms that tend to be related a lot with Catholic churches, if I came and saw, the fullness of the apostolic Christian faith, yes, we are apostolic, but I say, great, there are a bunch of Catholics, I'm not jumping in to that.
Yeah.
So I would say, if we do more Orthodox and we make sure we got that in there, it kind of differentiates us a little bit from Catholic because, and a lot of times the Catholics and a lot of us Catholics who were Catholic, there's some trauma involved in that.
Yeah.
So
your vision.
I would like to believe.
Your vision is to create a healing community that reflects the Orthodox Christian faith or the fullness.
But we can add as the true human being, human nature, as a true human nature, or the.
I can't keep it short and sweet.
It's got to be short and
sweet. Because I think when you start to say the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith, and that's.
I don't think you get rid of that.
It's going to take catechesis to understand what that is.
But this is for you. This is for you. This is your vision. You aspire to be a healing community that reflects the Orthodox Christian faith.
I like that fullness in there.
Yeah.
I think that there's too much minimalistic kind of stuff in the world. And we want the fullness of the faith.
I like that.
Your vision, our vision is to be a healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith. Now, how do we intend to achieve that vision? By living the faith.
Yeah, one being an example of it, and then two, teaching people how they can also live the faith. by being an example.
The healing communities, we just reflect this we just reflected the fullness of the Orthodox Christian Church. That'd be all you need to bring people.
No, but the healing is, I think there are a lot of people that do have trauma or are things that they have an emptiness in them and they don't know where to put it. So the idea that potentially they come here and it heals or fixes something with them, I think the type of people that are seeking that actually will identify with that.
I think there's something to be said about maintaining the idea of healing again, in the sense that in our current climate, but the web-based culture, there is a lot of people that are looking to just be right. And I think that we need to acknowledge that this is about healing our soul so that we can have union with God, rather than just being right.
It's not just about having some humility.
I'd like to hear from some people we haven't heard from. Maybe people that have come into the faith recently or even are coming. Silouan, Joel, Zach.
Okay, I was going to say something. I got, well, a couple thoughts. So, for a vision, does it have to be one thing, or can it be like a list, like a few, just like boom, boom, boom? And then, because that might almost be easier for people to remember, like if you hit them with like 3 things or something, than if it's a longer sentence. Or, I mean, the other question I have, I guess, is, does it have to be something that this church specifically comes up with, or could you just take like a good quote that everyone already like agrees with from a saint or something, or an elder, you know, like I hesitate to even say any because I don't want to like sidetrack. You know what I mean?
I think it should come from your parish, your community. So it should be organic. And then again, it's going to be clear and concise. It's going to be easy to remember, and it's got to inspire the people in your parish. To be thinking always that our vision is to become a healing community that reflects the fullness of the faith.
I heard your perspective from the perspective of what drew you and what draws you to the Orthodox Church.
Father, I can speak to that a little bit. And this is going to maybe be frustrating because I really, really liked seeing on the website before I came here a spiritual home for you and your family. And then I clicked on the service to watch, and I saw children like running around during the service. And then I came, and then there were children running around in the service, even like staring at me. So I and like a lot of people have said, I had no background in even Protestant Christianity. So any term like liturgical or anything like that didn't make any sense. But I was coming out of hippie world, so the term spiritual totally resonated with me, and I wanted that. I wanted a spiritual Christianity. So the only other thing, to forgive me if this is off-tracking, but I think at least where we're at now, is our vision is to grow as a community.
Be a growing here.
Or just to grow.
Yeah, just to grow as a healing.
To grow healing.
Yeah.
To grow as a healing.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good add.
Yeah.
I think,
Keep writing, Chris.
I've been around for a little while, but if I can say something, if that's okay. One thing I think that's really awesome, the moment you look up Orthodoxy, bam, it just goes huge. It's long. You can just keep going back and back and back, and you're like, whoa, I didn't even know this world existed. But if you go to some, local Pastor Jim, and he started this church all the way back in 1996, and then you stop. What happened before that, and it becomes the identity of a human being, a man. And so I think people, when they consider Orthodoxy, they're like joining the longest running club ever. And they're joining a tradition that with millions and millions and millions of people that are, it constantly, I've only been Orthodox for a little over 20 years, and I keep constantly discovering more and more layers. And I think that, we can't put that in a vision statement, but that's the reality of what people really are trying to get when they join. They're not joining because it's new and cool and hip. They're joining because it's old and it's long and it's involved and it's all encompassing.
I want to underline how his point actually, how I found out about Orthodoxy is I was over in Bremerton on the west side of the state, and I was at community college, and I was taking a philosophy class called The Western Tradition. And in the book, they have like a history book that goes like, Homer or something, and then just Greek and runs through it. And when they got to the part of Christianity, it was like Jesus, something happened, a schism, Luther's banging things on doors. It was that thin, but then I was reading everything else, it was like literally chapters of Roman history and Greek history, and it was like, and then immediately I was like, well, that was like I'm doing calculus, like, it's 1,000 years, like, what? And then that's what made me actually go, like, what happened after Jesus, before the schism? And then all of a sudden, so I just wanted to say, Chuck, for at least for my reality, I'm on that bandwagon.
Yeah, it's a 2,000-year-old Christianity.
Yeah, so, but that's like, now I've learned that's really skin deep. It's much deeper than that, but as an initial, from an outsider, was very being curious.
Okay, so I want to wrap this up. So maybe we just, at this point, just say we have a mission statement that we can work from. And then somewhere down the road, as you talk, then the mission statement will come in. Because, again, mission statement is supposed to reflect show how you intend to grow as a healing community.
I think we were trying to make two vision statements there, really, because that's also like to do something like what we're going to do in the future. I kind of think like, what are the three steps that we're going to take to church to this healing community would be the mission statement.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good point.
So you can say our vision is to grow as a healing community that reflects the fullness of the Orthodox Christian faith by 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Yes.
Sorry, I'm a librarian, just so you know. So I like to wordsmith all day. So I just want to let everybody know that I was looking at the word reflects, and as defined, reflects refers to the ability of a substance to return to its original shape after being stretched, bent, or pressed. But the word embodies means to represent an idea or quality exactly, or to be a symbol or example of something.
That's great.
Where have you been?
Sitting with the other librarians.
Thank you for that. That's really good.
I think the mission should be something to experience directly, to taste the orthodoxy. So I think, I don't know how to word that, but to bring the people to experience directly the beauty of worship and fullness of worship, and maybe to be one of the points there.
Yeah. Last comment, and then we're going to break.
The thing that brought me to Orthodoxy was seeing a transformation in someone else's life within the church. I don't know, I think it's good to have a vision statement, but I don't know if I would care. I mean, it wouldn't probably do anything to me as a Protestant, because I would probably just stay away from anything that looked Catholic.
Yeah.
But I do know that, like this woman here just said, talked about transformation, or Sarah was saying that all people, those are some buzzwords that would turn me off. Definitely that I would, because Protestant church is full of vision statements and that sort of thing. And so I agree with you, it should be something that inspires the body here, because I couldn't argue with the transformation I saw in this person's life. It was there, and it wasn't fake, and it was impressive. The same with my wife. She was like, "Okay, we saw this with our own eyes.
Yeah.
We have to look at this."
Thank you for
and
that.
so it's the people reaching out.
So I guess in closing, I would say that a vision statement, I think, is useful. This is where I found it useful, most useful. When we're in parish council meeting or we're thinking about doing new projects, I always ask people, does it align with our vision? If so, let's pursue it. Let's look into it. If not, no. Stop right there. So I think every parish needs something internally that guides its decision making. And I think a vision statement does that. So if someone comes forward with a new idea, does it align with the vision statement? You don't really need a mission statement, right? Then
it's not marketing per se. It's like it's organizing for us to.
Yeah.
Provide a framework.
Yeah, it's a standard to measure by.
It's a framework. It's foundation to build on.
Does the Kebab Fest fit our vision statement?
It does.
I would say yes.
It absolutely does.
I'm seriously asking.
Yeah.
Does the what? What was the question?
Does the Kebab Fest fit or align with the vision statement?
So my question would be is, if it doesn't, is it something that we need to pursue?
Well, I know that's why.
We'll help you.
Do we? I guess what I'm trying to say is, do we create our vision based on a community event that we want to hold on to, or do we just say we like doing it, we do it, but our vision for our community is a different thing?
I think grow is the key word.
That's exactly. There you go.
I think that grow, yeah, I agree, is definitely.
We are doing it as outreach.
Right, there's a hint.
I would say it would, the Kebab Fest would, because like the Greek Fest and the Serb Fest and all these other festivals that the other festivals that I've been at have, it's amazing how many people become Orthodox through that community and being exposed to all these Orthodox people that are working it. And for example, I would have never gone to the Orthodox church on my own, but I went for the food. And I went to church.
And then you might meet. And then you might meet someone there.
Yes.
Who's been transformed.
Yeah.
Who's been healed.
Through just experiencing people in there every day.
So, okay, the Kebab Fest stays. Okay. You're gonna run me out of town. Because you haven't heard my sermon, the church should get out of the restaurant business, but that's another thing. Okay, let's take a break. Michael,
Just real quick, I think the other helpful thing of a vision is that it's a little bit, when you know you have done that, it helps you do it again, right? So it provides a certain have we done that? Are we on track? And if we have, then we can, like we did last night when people mentioned all the things that, all the beautiful things that they've experienced in the life of the church. It's like we are doing our job. And so the vision can really help to increase our ability to do what we're already doing because we know we're on track.
Great. All right, let's take about a 15-minute break. Actually, let's make it, 18 minutes?
11 o'clock?
Yeah. Lunch is at 12?
Actually, accomplished. Oh, yeah, at 12. Yeah.
So come back by 11 o'clock.